guess I'm the voice actor for D-Luke now.
Oh my god, did I mess that up?
Yeah.
Okay, can you correct me for this one, because I am actually like...
You don't know who I voice in Genshin? I'm just messing with you.
I thought I was fired from the get-go.
You got 3 guesses. All right, you guys want to give him a clue? First letter. Does he get a clue? I'm sorry, K? Are you Googling it?
Either.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Windblade.
Starts with an A.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Either.
I messed up. I'm so sorry. I've been out of it. But anyways, thank you so much. Albedo, by the way, please. Okay, but yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. The MSG took my body instead. Anyways, thank you so much, Albedo. Of course, Khoi Dao, guys. So Albedo is actually dating, apparently, both Barbara and Xinyan. But don't worry, they're the same exact voice actor. Because that is gonna be Laura Stahl, everybody.
Barbara's here.
Actually, I voice Kaya.
You're both gonna give me a heart attack. Oh my god. All right. Please take a seat. Please take a seat. I have been. Yeah. Guys, there's enough space for the couch.
All right.
Anyways. Okay, sorry for that little faux pas, guys. I'm so sorry. Anyways, like for the massive Genshin fans out there, please welcome Albedo and Barbara and Xinyan, Khoi Dao, and Laura. Okay, so, anyways, how was the meet and greet? Like, first of all, like, you guys had tens, hundreds of fans, like, going in there?
I don't know how many, but it was a lot.
There was a lot, and it was really hard. Did you know there's a Jollibee Funko Pop?
Yes!
Someone give me a Jollibee Funko Pop. Oh, it was you, hey!
How many of you were at the meet and greet?
Couple of you, all
Hi,
right.
your friends.
Raise your hands, don't be shy.
There was a couple of them.
Good to
Some
see
hands.
you.
Yeah.
Hi.
I thought this was a jar. Anyway.
It's not a jar,
It's
it's
not.
a glass of water. You should have some.
Could
It's
be a
not-
jar.
Yum. There you go. Hydrate. That's
Okay.
what Barbara would say. Hi, Barbara. Do you see the pretty Barbara cosplay? Hi.
Actually, yeah, can you, like, show the
I
crowd?
want to see it.
Yeah!
Barbara's here.
Laura, attack! Attack!
But anyways, okay, so clearly I don't play Genshin Impact. It's made obvious now, but still.
It's okay, I don't really play it either.
Are you serious now? You look like
Right.
Okay, I play it a little bit. I'm adventure rank 47, which is not bad. It's not bad.
Don't be mad at us.
My Albedo is level 60, 70.
Okay, so
70.
anyways, like we're gonna get into like the main meat here now is going to be like the fact that, you know, like we got millions of like fans clamoring for you guys, like just going crazy. How does it feel to be, you know, at this point where the moment people like look at you or hear that you're coming to like a con? Like I remember like somebody in the audience, for example, I was like asking about who Khoi Dao is, and immediately like he gave me the whole like, oh my god, Khoi Dao's coming to Conquest. Oh my god, I can't believe that's actually happening. He's pointing at me right now. But anyways, how does it feel, like what is the fan experience like, especially since you guys just got to the meet and greet?
Honestly, it's super interesting because I started out as a fan. Like, I'm a huge fan of all things JRPG and anime and whatnot. My voice acting journey actually started at a convention, right? I don't know if you guys heard of Anime Expo. It's the biggest anime convention in all of North America. I live really nearby, and I was like, you know what? I like anime. I got a couple days to kill. Why not? And over there, they had a voice acting booth, and that was sort of where I was like, well, let's see. Mathematically speaking, anime's great, acting is fun, I love attention, why not? So I did the thing, and of course I bombed, right? But they were selling classes, which was the whole intention the entire time. And I was like, hi, can I buy some of your classes? And they were like, yes, for money. And I was like, okay, sure. And from there began the evolution from fan to voice actor. But in terms of headspace, I'm glad to say that I've remained pretty much connected to my working class roots. I was at Starbucks the other day where nobody knew who I was. And all of a sudden, with this kind of fame in particular, you can turn on and off the celebrity, right? The second I step out of the con, I just go back to being a regular guy. But here, wow, it's like people coming up to tell me people coming to tell us what our work means to them, and it's really something you never consider, especially in voice acting. It's a very lonely type of work, right? It's just you, the director, and the engineer. You show up, you do your lines. Okay, cool, awesome. Time to hit up Subway and head home. And you don't see how it impacts people. It's not like live theater. It's not those big budget movies where there's a red carpet and people screaming your name. Oh my God, send my breast. This is our only opportunity to see how our work impacts people. And every single time it is, yeah, it's delightful, it is mind-boggling, and I'm so grateful for the chance to get to hear from all of you what it means, because it really makes me want to do better when I'm behind the mic.
That warms my heart.
I don't know how to top that. What do I do?
Come on, Laura, you still have something, I'm pretty sure.
Golly gosh. Well, it's just sort of like what Khoi was saying, when we're working, especially as voice actors behind the microphone, we're literally in a little tiny padded room, and there's like the director over there, and there's engineer over there who's not even looking at you, and you're just, you're doing your job, you're doing your lines, and then you leave. And especially in like Los Angeles and Hollywood and things, everybody there is a part of the industry in one way or another, and to from one extent to another. And even like within our own, like my own family and things, I still have family members who are like, so why don't you try real acting?
Oh my God.
And that's okay. Like, it's a thing that happens. They're like, they're like, oh, you're little lost. You're doing your little voiceover thing. That's cute, right? And so in my mind, it's like, yeah, I'm just doing my little job and I'm running around. But then, I get to meet some of you wonderful human beings, and you let me know how much I've affected you, and you are affecting me in turn. Like knowing that you're here and you're here to see us, and you want to tell us like all the creative things that you've been inspired to do by like whatever game or show that you've loved. And you show it to us and you share that with us. It's so personal and so sweet. Like, I see it, I know that sometimes you'll come up and fans will be shaking, or you'll be nervous, or you'll stumble over your words. I am doing the same thing right now. Like, I feel just as awkward as you do, and I feel just as honored to meet you, because I get to do this because you exist, So it's really a big deal. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here and supporting our journey. Anyway, yeah. So it's weird. It's weird to meet people who think of us as something more or something special, because I feel what you're feeling. I just
our day-to-day
yeah.
look. I promise you, our day-to-days are almost identical.
Pretty similar.
Like I will wake up, brush my teeth, maybe go to work, maybe not. Go home, curl up in a ball, and wonder if I was awkward with anyone today, and then cry about it.
Yep.
That's my day-to-day.
Yep, I'll hide.
The only time we get to be fancy is at cons,
Yep.
but for the most part, we're just...
We'll get up, we'll feed the cats, we'll find where they threw up the night before, and feed them.
I'll go to Subway, and I'll be like, can I get avocado with that? And I'll be like, yeah, avocado's extra. Is that okay? I'm like, I know the avocado's extra. I'm here all the time, Jeff.
Put the avocado
Just
on
give
the
me the avocado, Jeff.
Man, I felt that.
Yeah.
it really is like, it really is amazing how like there is a pedestal for people that appreciate you, right? Like in the end, like as you said, like we all.
You're very loud.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad though. You
I
guys
can
hear
feel
us.
your voice in
I
my
know,
skull.
I'm feeling it in my
It's
bones.
resonating everywhere.
But you made me want to. Okay, I'll go. Fine.
Okay, so
I'll go over here.
can we get a mic switch here? Anyways, the one thing that like I realized like while you guys have been talking about it is like there really, there is the like like in the end we're despite all the little celebrity worship, like we're all. You two are in the end human and like just like us, the humble fans that have taken our time, them taking their time, taking their time, money, and everything, and all that energy, and like giving it to you. It's been how do I describe it? Does it feel like is it surreal? Is it humbling? Is it like I know it as you mentioned, Laura? It does melt the heart. And I guess, oh my God, I'm going on a tangent here.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways, I guess it does boil down to, it feels great to be appreciated, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Darling.
gratitude. Like it's like Laura said, you guys understand what we do better than our own families do. Like, oh, you're a voice actor? What is that? What is voice acting? I'm like, Mom, have you ever seen a cartoon? Where do you think the voices come from? There's an actor who does that. What? Yeah, that's why you haven't been sending me rent money, because I can cover that on my own. But so here's the thing, right? We get into voice acting because we love acting. It's one of those careers that you do out of passion. Right? It's something that people aspire to.
We're not rich.
But yeah, as with anything else, as is the nature of work, work is work. And eventually you do burn out. Eventually it does become a little cumbersome. We've had those days where we walk into the studio and we're just waiting for the session to be over because maybe the material's just not engaging, or it's a live action dub, no one's gonna watch that, or yeah.
Or it feels like maybe the director isn't as passionate about the project.
Oh yeah, or it feels like the director's just trying to get to the end of the day, and I'm like, come on, give me some energy to bounce off of. It gets tedious, and so you start to think of it as a drag, and then you come here, and people remind you
Of
that
the magic that's part of it.
of the magic you create. People remind you that this work matters, and all of a sudden you remember, yeah, it's important, it's invigorating, and both Laura and I are very grateful
Absolutely
to
grateful. I
have
do
that connection with you.
a little thought about something you said earlier about being like pedestals and being put on pedestals and things. I have a teeny little disagreement with the pedestal thing. Like I love you, like you guys, and I love the fandom, and I love the community that's been created. But one thing I want to remind people of is like no matter, because there's always, whenever we go to a convention, no matter where we go, there's usually at least a few people who come up to us and say, I want to do what you do. I want to be a voice actor. I want to be an actor. I want to be an artist, or what have you. And I think one of the first steps that we can take on that journey forward is to, I mean, as you know, you can have your favorites that you love and you can be fans of, but remember that we're just people, just like you. Because if you think of your favorite actors or your favorite artists, directors, or what have you to be something other, something magical, something different, it's putting yourself down. You are very much just as capable as anybody else to go and do the things that you want to do and create the art that you want to create. Khoi is not American born. Khoi did not necessarily have a perfect standard American English dialect when he came to America before. He did so much and is where he is now Anyone else
Yeah.
can do that thing. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the most amazing thing, and I think that's something that's actually tangible and real. And that means that, we're not necessarily magical, mythical creatures. We're just human beings that go to Subway.
Yeah. Subway sponsor us.
Is anybody actually secretly working for Subway right now? Anyways, so
Or Jollibee.
oh man, has the obsession with Jollibee culminated now? Like now that you're in the Philippines, has this obsession with?
Oh
What
my
did
God!
we do
All
2
right.
seconds after we started?
Okay, let
Yeah.
me tell you. I arrived in the Philippines yesterday, right? It's a 15-hour flight.
Yep.
Let me tell you that timeline. I get off the plane, I get my bags, I get into the taxi, it brings us to the hotel, I drop my bags off, and not 5 minutes later, I'm out the door, beelining it for Jollibee down the street. I have not showered.
He pulled me right out there with him. He's like, oh no, because we were we got there, we threw our stuff down, we got on the bed for like 2 seconds, and he said, babe, I'm gonna get up now, and I'm gonna put on my shoes, and I'm gonna walk through the mall, and I'm gonna go to the Jollibee, and you can join me or not. He was like, but I'm gonna go. And I was like, okay.
Listen, Conquest has been great, but we all know the real reason why I'm here.
We saw the tweets, Khoi.
Yeah.
We saw the tweets. So have you ever had an itinerary for day 1, 2, and 3? Now that you're here, what's your game plan on destroying every Jollibee?
Every
known to
Jollibee in the
mankind?
zip code?
Yeah, in the zip code. And 2, the street food stalls, if you do have plans for
Oh
that.
my gosh, we don't know when and how.
Oh, I'm trying to optimize every single minute I have. So my morning potty time. I've got my phone with me, right? And I've been DMing with a few people that I know who live here. I've been asking for food recs, and so I'm just making a list, going back and forth between that and Google Maps, and I'm just starring things. And I'm like, all right, here's where this is, here's where that is. All right, I'm gonna hit up this, and that. Tomorrow's my free roam. I'm gonna wake up extra early and hit 3 eateries before I get back here. You can come with me if you want.
The usual, I guess.
I love you. I will carry you on my back. We gotta make such good time. Listen,
What are you trying to do to me?
Jollibee is best enjoyed with a friend.
Just a friend?
With a more than friend.
That's great. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that is, you actually have massive stars. You have a whole roadmap.
You don't understand how this boy plans trips.
Laura knows about this.
It's unbelievable. If we're going somewhere, he has spreadsheets. He's got Google Docs. Yeah, I'm not kidding. He's a Virgo. He's very type A. He's like, these are the lists. These are the places we're going. These are the definite places we're going. This is where we're going if we have time. We have to get up at this time o'clock. We're gonna get out the door by this time. We're gonna take this thing. This guy.
Food-based holiday planning is the best. I will travel really far if for the promise of good food.
Amen.
You want to go to Cebu?
Yeah.
You want to go to Cebu? We got some sick food there.
I've heard there's a
He's
lot of
ready.
mangoes there from
Yeah.
destroy.
Yeah,
Threatening with a good
lechon.
time.
Somebody did
Lechon.
mention, lechon. We have
Oh,
we
God.
have some of the sickest pork rinds known to mankind.
I love lechon.
Babe.
Yeah.
That's the shit. Okay.
All right. And many other things. Please come to Cebu. Make a roadmap for that one too. But also, you guys talk about as a couple, you guys talk about your trips and whatnot, you do everything together, and it turns out you guys stream together too.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that, because I remember Laura, you were mentioning that you were planning on playing Genshin, you're planning on streaming Genshin up
Yes.
until basically it'll start when Khoi teaches you how to do the streams and all that stuff.
That was even before we started dating.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, I already have a channel. You come by my house all the time. And just use my stuff and stream Genshin. And Laura was like, but I don't know how. I need a big, strong, handsome man to show me the ropes. I was like, damn, I don't see any one of those here, but I guess
I
I'll
need
do.
you to understand that's the voice he uses to impersonate me every single time. I'm apparently a Muppet, and that's it.
Yeah!
Like, what's the Khoi vision here? Like, do you see her as a Muppet?
No, I guess because Laura in her private moments has really cute goblin energy that she doesn't want to acknowledge.
He's lying.
Yes, I'm not. I'm
He's a
100%
liar.
not.
He's lying.
Now that's it's coming out right there. A little goblin peeking out. Now there we go. Yeah, I ain't lying. This is you in the one word in private. Give me the mango. Give me the mango. That's you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so lucky.
Yeah, you are.
So, like, speaking of like the whole stream thing, like, do you guys like, what do you call this? Like, have there been any antics that like that you guys like that seem memorable for you guys? Like when you guys were streaming together and whatnot. Like as a couple, I feel like that's a very different dynamic from like just streaming alone.
I mean, so basically, the usual loop of events is I'll say something like, "Hey, baby, look what I can do," and I'll just fly one of my Genshin characters off of this really tall cliff and be like, "You think I can make it over to the other side?" And then I'm running out of stamina, I'm about to crash, and you're like, "No, please don't!" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then the character dies because he falls to his death, and then she'll start crying.
He always kills me. Every time he gets Barbara out to go fight something that we're not ranked to do. Every single like domain we go into, it says you need to be level such and such to go, and we're like sitting here at fucking level 60, and he's like, "We can do it." And just
I believe in Barbara. I believe
murders me every single time.
I'm an aspiring DPS Barbara. I haven't built her that way. Yeah. Thank you. You understand.
You can't just manifest DPS Barbara. You have to build her.
Yeah. Listen. I consider my belief in her abilities to be building her in like an emotional way.
This is like the dull blade all over again. Can't.
So this is how it always goes, huh?
Yeah.
This is always goes.
I'll do something and she'll be like, "Babe, that's not how you play the game," and I'm like, watch me play the game this way."
Or even if we're not playing Genshin, do you remember the 5 nights at Penny's?
We had a 5 Nights at Freddy's stream, and that was delightful.
Oh my god. Every single time a jump scare happened, I screamed for real into that microphone, and if you watched it, I just want to say I'm sorry. I was so upset.
Yeah, you destroyed my ears.
I know, and I'm sorry.
I screamed for real too. I didn't think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
But I was legit frightened.
I was absolutely terrified. I was like close to tears, and you're like, "Just one more try," and I'm like, "No, please." It's fine. I can take it. Years off my life, but that's okay.
Wow. But yeah, like speaking of gaming, have you guys like? I know like it was your auditions were basically like marketed to you as like a quote unquote small mobile game. Quote unquote. And like when did you realize like, oh my god, this is actually like bigger than I thought it would be?
I don't think anybody expected it to be big. I don't think even MiHoYo expected it to be this big.
Not at all.
But everything just kind of aligned perfectly. We were in the middle of lockdown, and everybody was looking for something to do, and Genshin just happened to be there. And people got really into it because there's all these cute waifus and awesome husbandos to be had. It's a gacha game, so it's designed to be addictive. All the voices are really hot. It was the perfect storm. It was the perfect storm that nobody anticipated.
No, for real. And like what you said, it was absolutely correct. When I received sides, like I got sides for a handful of characters, and sides is like this. These are the words that we want you to read to tell us whether or not we want you to do the job, right? And usually, if you're gonna do a game that's really big, that has a lot to do, they'll like send you a few scenes to do so they can like really like dig in and decide whether or not they like what you do and your acting choices and stuff like this. This game said just a mobile game, like for your phone, and then it sent us like 5 different lines, and that's it. Just a few little sound bites. That's all they were looking for. And usually, when you receive an audition that looks like that, you're looking at maybe one session for 45 minutes total, and you're done forever. And it's maybe a little small game that'll go on your phone and that people will or will not know about. I wasn't even planning on announcing that I got the job at all, because I thought, oh, this is just gonna be a little thing. So I auditioned, I sent a bunch of sides in, and then oh, this is kind of getting into the story of how I got 2 characters. Do you want to know about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's not fair.
I'm sorry.
I want 2 characters.
There's still time. But okay, so I actually auditioned for Barbara and Xinyan at the same time, along with a few other characters. Yeah. And so I sent a whole bunch of MP3s in, just sent them all and thought, okay, whatever, we'll see what happens. And then literally several months went by, 4 months went by after I sent them. And I thought nothing. I thought I must have not gotten the job. I had moved on. I didn't know what the heck this Genshin thing was, because obviously it wasn't even out yet, so there was nothing to really worry about. And then all of a sudden and it was right when lockdown happened, I got an email saying that I booked Barbara. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so they're all right, let me just go into my little schedule and we'll see what we can do. And then they're all right, cool, we need 12 hours with you. Remember when I said I thought this would be a 45-minute session? 12 hours is a little bit more if you think about it. I was oh, okay, dang, all right, she must be important, okay. So I was all right, cool. So we set up the time and we started recording, and I thought, okay, we'll just get through, this must be the story bit, and then we'll do the fighting things, and then I'll be done, and that must be the end of forever. So I did all of that bit, and they're all right, cool, we did all 12 hours. It was 3 4-hour sessions, right? And it was all on online. We were just figuring out this recording from remote thing. And I was all right, cool, talk to you later, bye. And then I got another session a month or so later, and I was oh wow, I didn't realize there would be more. It must be DLC or something, because it hadn't come out yet.
It must be DLC or something.
And so I start recording for that part, and they're oh yeah, okay, great. And I was oh awesome, I didn't realize there was gonna be more. And they're oh. There's gonna be more. I was what do you mean? And they're oh, we're gonna be recording this for at least the next 5 years. That's what I said.
And then 5 years became 10.
Then oh my god, it did. After the game dropped, because the game still hadn't even come out yet at this point. And so I recorded that part. I was oh wow, this means that I'll get a paycheck every once in a while. I those. And then after I recorded that second portion, I got another email saying, hi, you booked Xinyan.
Yeah, more money.
I was what do you mean? And they're yeah. And also, here's this little tidbit. So, Xinyan's accent. Right? Don't say, oh no, it's fine. So, the southern drawl. When they sent those sides out, they said they wanted to hear it once with and once without. So I did the audition twice. I did it once with and once without. And then when I got in, we started recording for Xinyan, they said, we picked the southern drawl. And that's it. Yeah. It wasn't my idea.
I like it.
You like it?
Ni hao, partner. If there's fire in your soul, you gotta rock and roll. Yeah, there we go. So come on.
This is my add to the.
Oh hell yeah! Which way is this the front? I don't know. You're more American than I am.
Wow. Okay,
The-
let's just put it like this one.
There we go.
You look
Well, hey there, traveler. Come on.
No, it's always, come on, traveler. Fancy's meeting you here.
Come on.
Didn't think I'd run into you out here. What are you doing here? Every time. Every single time
This
she
is
shows
my
up.
hat
Come
now.
on, traveler. Do you feel cute?
There you go.
He's so cute. But yeah, so that's and then the game came out, and I still wasn't gonna post about it, but then they posted like that graphic
That graphic,
thing.
yeah, I remember.
They had the graphic thing, and so I was announced instead of me announcing it. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll just retweet it. That's fine. And then the world exploded.
You want to know a funny story about the graphic thing?
Yes.
There was a graphic for Albedo's announcement as well on Twitter, but they had to post it 3 times because the first 2 times they credited Albedo's voice actor as Laura Stahl. They did. Some of you might remember this. The graphic said Albedo English voice actor Laura Stahl, and I was like, hey, wait a minute.
You're Albedo now.
That ain't right. You don't get a 3rd character.
Come into being!
But the 3rd time they got it right.
Chop princess.
Moment of suck this.
What? So what?
That didn't happen, you didn't see it.
Yeah, we didn't see anything.
Censor that part of whatever you're recording.
But yeah,
Anyway,
look at the what do you call this? Look how big the game has gone. Look at all these fans. Look at them.
Yeah,
They're just ready.
Hi guys.
This room filled up while we were talking. How'd you all get here? I see you, Albedo. Hi. You look so cute. Okay, anyway.
Oh my gosh. Well, hello.
Yeah, so good.
You look really good. Oh dang, he's naked in there. Is he naked in there? Well, all right.
It's the baby one.
Oh, it's a baby one.
So it's
Okay.
inappropriate.
Okay. Yeah, babies usually come out naked.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
It is amazing.
This is sort of mind-blowing, though.
This really, it's amazing how Genshin really did become a cultural phenomenon at this point.
Yeah.
As you said, it was the perfect storm.
It was a perfect storm, and funnily enough, I almost wasn't in the game. Yeah. Yeah,
Dun,
so
dun, dun.
Initially, my first Genshin session, I wasn't playing Albedo. The director, Chris Faela, he just needed some extra NPCs, and someone recommended me to him, and he was like, okay, well, there's this kid called Venti, they have a story quest, you want to just do this guy in that story quest? I was like, okay, sure, why not? And then a couple months later, I get an email saying, hey, actually, we need coverage for one of the new characters, a 5-star character. How much time you got this week? And I was like, I don't know, Chris. I got 2 hours on Wednesday. How much you need? And he was like,
14,000 years.
28.
28
And I was like, okay.
hours.
How are we gonna do this? And he's like, well, what are you doing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Do you have stuff planned? And I was like, yes, Chris, I have a life. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And I think they weren't anticipating this deadline. So for my first round as Albedo, I was doing literally 8 hours a day in the studio. So I would show up in the morning. There'd be a lunch break. And then we just finish off the day because that guy has a lot to say. And the rest is history. Yeah.
Chop prince.
I think I was just in the right place at the right time, just finishing up my NPC session when they realized they needed a coverage for a new character, and I was kind of just there.
And they said, you, shit poster, let's go.
You, Twitter funny man, go be the scientist. And I was like, okay.
That is actually amazing. But you talked about long studio sessions. What do you guys do to basically offset these long studio sessions? How do you manage to not run out of gas every single time?
Breaks, hydration, snacks.
Naps.
I mean,
Usually what's the case that Khoi was just talking about was actually highly unusual.
it's very unusual to be there all day.
For the most part, the longest that a session will be about 4 hours. Usually. Not always. Every once in a while there will be a special occasion and they'll be like, can you
Or
please?
someone's going out of town and
Right.
they need this by this deadline.
That
So,
actually happened to me on Fire Emblem Engage. I had to do something like that at one point. But Usually it's just that 4 hours. Now, sometimes you yourself will book a couple of sessions in a day for other projects, and that would extend a day. But for the most part, you'll have 4 hours tops, and they'll give you about like a few minutes break every hour. So you'll stop, you'll go to the restroom, you'll get a snack, you'll take some water, you'll
Drink
sit
some
down,
water, make a
you'll
tea.
shut up for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's usually how that will go, and that will sustain you. Sometimes it's a little more or less depending on like how vocally stressful something will be.
So with Albedo, for example, I'm really lucky that for the most part he's a pretty quiet guy. He just kind of talks like this. Hey, what's up? What's good? There are some
Direct
characters
line.
that lose it. That
Just, yeah.
a lot of Western video games, for example. Everything okay? All right. A lot of Western video games, for example. There's a lot of fighting involved, a lot of efforts involved, and we usually just save all of those for the end because they're vocally stressful, and we just knock them all out at the end. Sometimes you'll have several sessions of those in a day, and you'll want to schedule that on a Friday so that you get Saturday and Sunday
To just be quiet.
to just shut up and rest. Those are the sessions that'll get you. And there are techniques that they teach you in voice acting classes that you can employ to save your voice. But
like for singing, if you're a singer, a lot of the techniques that are used in voice acting, you use in singing as well, and vice versa, to preserve your voice. So like if you're doing lots of screaming, it's really just a lot of singing, right? So you don't want it to like sit in your throat because you'll start coughing and all that other good stuff.
yeah, but so, oh, there you go, baby. A lot of it is up to self-advocacy. It's a very hard thing to learn, not just in voice acting, but in any career. It's difficult to advocate for yourself. It's difficult to tell your employer, hey, if you make me do this at this time, you're going to murder me. But at the end of the day, our voice is our moneymaker, right? And so if we're anticipating like a big project coming up in a week, we can't schedule vocally stressful sessions on like Mondays or Tuesdays.
Right.
At that point, it's up to you to tell them, hey, if you've got room in your schedule,
Can we push this to a later date?
can we push this to a later date?
And not
that's
at the beginning of the
yeah, and not at the beginning of the week. That's really the toughest part is
It is.
standing up for yourself or
Yeah.
letting people know what your needs are.
Especially in the very beginning, and with like a job that looks so shiny, like artist or voice actor or actor or what have you, and you're just starting out. There's this tendency to want to bend over backwards and bleed yourself dry for the project so that they see. They're like, oh, I'm such a hard worker. I don't want them to think that I'm going to be difficult or that I'm going to be, so much, stress for them that I'm not going to get things done on time. I want them to know that I'm reliable and dependable and that they can use me for anything, so they'll keep hiring me back, or that I won't lose the job, because you feel like it's very precious, especially right in the beginning, especially when it's like your first or second job.
And knowing that voice actors are actually one of the most replaceable parts of a video game or an animation.
Yep, it happens quite often. And so there's this tendency and feeling to want to hold back if you feel like something's going to hurt you or is hurting you, or you're uncomfortable with something, or maybe you're getting underpaid for something. There's this desire to just kind of suck it up and be like, well, it's okay. I just need to get this job. I need to get through a few more before I can feel like I have enough weight to carry and put up boundaries. It's okay to start those boundaries early. You can start them early and respectfully for yourself and for the crew. It's really, really important to do that so that you don't get taken advantage of.
Wow. Okay. That's actually what it. Hello.
What did you do?
It's doing the thing again. That's always like that actually leads me to an interesting question. Like, have there been moments where tips? Do you have tips? I mean, in finding out red flags for clients and whatnot, and for possible in case. What do you think gets ignored the most for voice actors that we need to emphasize more on for people, for not just voice actors but freelancers in general? How do you I don't know, like the thought has disappeared in my head. But how do you detect like when you realize like, hey, can I put a boundary here? How do you how do you set that
Bullshit
boundary?
detection, you mean?
Yeah, how do you
Bullshit
detect bullshit?
detection.
Yeah, there we go.
As with any other industry, this acting, voice acting, even in particular, is rife with red flags and people who aren't really in places where they want to be, and so they'll try to assert themselves in ways that won't exactly make you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, and upon the urging of the people who work with us, and our agents, for example, who get a cut of our paycheck, you are encouraged to put up with bullshit so that the check clears.
To an extent, yeah.
To an extent. However, and this is something that no one will teach you, and something that you will forget quickly yourself, is that the new voice actors that I see coming into the industry, what I'd like to see from them is more recognition of your own sovereignty, a higher level of self-respect, and recognizing when someone has gone too far. I'll give you an example. I was doing a callback audition for this really, really cool game, right? And the director who was directing that callback was using tactics that I would call emotionally abusive. For example, one of the first things they teach you in voice acting classes is that if you don't book an audition, that's okay. I book maybe 5 to 10% of the things I audition for, and that's a really good booking rate.
That's a really good ratio. Keep
For-
that in mind.
Yeah. If you audition for 100 things and you book 2 or 3, that's really good.
That's great, actually.
Because it's not rejection. You weren't rejected. You just weren't selected. So one of the tenets of voice acting, and acting of course in general, is don't take not getting the role personally. But my callback audition was for this really, really sad, really, really tragic character in this really sad moment. And for the director just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't sad enough for them. And so they set out to make me feel as shitty as possible. And
For real.
They tried to Stanley Kubrick you.
It's but a little less artful. So I do my read, and the director was like, "Get out of there! You didn't get it. You didn't get the role. I'm sorry. Just get out. Get out." I was like, "Oh, that's a shame. But thank you for the opportunity." And then they were like, "Really? That's how you're gonna react? I just told you didn't book the role, and that's how you're gonna react?" I'm like, yeah, because it's the appropriate thing. Did you want me to throw a tantrum? Among other things, right? Also, I was asked to take off my shoes, to feel the carpet under my feet, to be more physically uncomfortable. This might be an extreme example, but sometimes people will do bullshit like this, and I want you to know that this was really early in my career, and I took the abuse, and I'm really embarrassed that I did. I was really ashamed that I did, and if I could revisit that moment, I wish I had stood up for myself. I would have lost nothing by saying, "Hey, it's really not cool the way you're treating me. I don't want to be a part of this experience anymore. I do not want to engage with you anymore. Have a good day." Not like set the studio on fire, which is something I would have wanted to do, but you are allowed to disengage. You are allowed to leave experiences that feel abusive. It's one thing to just weather an asshole, right? To just all right, he's being a dick, but we'll just get through the day. And then there's it's another thing to endure abuse. And I want you to be able to trust your gut, know when someone is treating you wrong, and
know that it's okay to disengage.
It's
with
okay to
grace.
disengage. It's okay to leave that scenario.
Another side of this that I would like to talk to, which is like, yes, there are some people who are just gonna not like rub you the wrong way and what have you. But there will also be people in positions of power who just don't fully understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And I think that's true all across the board, all across any sort of career. There are going to be people who maybe are above you or in places of like management or what have you that have never had to do the thing they're asking you to do and don't understand what it is that they're trying to get you to accomplish and just don't think of the obstacles that might be in your way. So there will probably someday, say if you're voice acting and you're doing a session, and there will someday be somebody who says, all right, we've got 4 hours and all you're doing is screaming at the top of your lungs. Go for it. And they just aren't thinking about the health and safety of you and your instrument. So, because they've never had to do it before. So it's okay to say, hey, just so you know, if this is what you're asking me to do, this is the way that we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to take frequent breaks. We're gonna have to take lots and lots of water. I'm gonna have to be able to dictate that myself and know that there's a possibility that we won't be able to finish as much as we want to get through today simply because I have to keep my safety in mind. And if they are somebody who is good at taking outside criticism or able to see from other points of view, and luckily in situations like this, I've had directors or what have you who understand it right away when you bring it up to them, because they literally just weren't thinking of it. They're like, oh, you're right, absolutely, these are some pretty difficult. You let me know, we'll go at your pace, and they'll usually step back and they'll walk it back and they'll be okay. And you will not lose your job. Now, if you do end up in a situation where you bring these things up and they're like, well, if you want to keep this, and they start getting abusive, remember and understand that this is not a situation you want to be in the first place. That's not an environment in which you want to participate. I know that sometimes you'll see these really big shiny titles or what have you, and you want to be a part of those so bad. But at the end of the day, the environment that's really important has nothing to do with the title of the job that you've got or the title of the project that you're working on. It has everything to do with the environment in which you're working, the people that you're interacting with, and how you feel about yourself at the end of the day, right? Super important.
Yeah, you're right. And it's absolutely not worth it to injure yourself and destroy your body for one job, because that's gonna bar you physically from
doing
a lot
so
of
many other
jobs.
Yeah.
There's no job that is worth injuring yourself that way. And also the whole, you'll never work in this town again, I'll make sure of it.
Does not exist.
Does not exist.
It's not
People
real.
say it because they're stupid, but nobody is that powerful.
Yeah.
And the person who says that, I bet you most of the other people working in the industry know that guy is a little butthole and will not want to keep their word. Yeah.
If somebody has to resort to a threat like that, 9 times out of 10, they are not nearly as powerful as they think they are.
So love yourself.
Yeah, that's the theme.
Biggest takeaway here, yeah. And speaking of lovers, just to cleanse the palate a bit, I know, I warned you. Like, are you ready for this?
No, I'm not. But whatever you want to do, man.
No, okay. Let's not get too much on that then. Let's cleanse the palate differently then. Like, I know you guys own like a bunch of cats, and
I do own some cats.
We
do have cats.
There is a herd of cats.
So let's go back to a little bit back to this streaming aspect of it all. Like, just a little lighthearted question for everyone here. Have they ever disrupted any of your streams and whatnot?
So to answer your question in a very quick way, the cats are now banned from the room when you're streaming.
Yeah.
And the reason for that ban, all right, during lockdown, voice actors were scrambling to keep their jobs because in order to record quality audio, you had to have quality equipment, which not a lot of people can afford, especially when you're an actor, one of the most precarious vocations in existence. Luckily, studios had that equipment, but then this funny thing happened in 2020 where we couldn't go into studio anymore. And so we had to figure out what the hell we were gonna do. And there began the boom in the industry of moving blankets and microphones and preamps and whatnot. So I purchased a very lovely 4-foot by 4-foot booth from this company. The only issue with it is that the exterior is made out of felt. You see where I'm going with this. You see where I'm going with this. So I got this beautiful, really big, really expensive
So expensive.
piece of equipment in my workspace.
Yep.
And the cats walk by and they're like,
Scratching
damn.
toast.
That is the yummiest scratching post I've ever seen. In 27 minutes, my little orange tabby, Wally, I come back into the room, he's on top of it. I'm like, how did you get there, you
I
bastard?
have had to stop sessions and ask the director to wait to get out of the booth and smack the side of it so that the cat will jump off the top because I hear him up there crawling across it like a little demon.
They start kneading like the top of it.
Yeah, so happy, so happy.
And they're not supposed to be able to climb that, right? They Spider-Man up there.
They spider.
I don't know
they'll
how.
be clinging onto the side, and like if we come out of, say we would come out of the bedroom, and he was like mid-stride up it, he'd just like stop and like. Oh, special boy.
And so so now the sides of my booth are all messed up because of the claw marks. But before that, in my early signing streams, I used to have a cat cam. And so I had a webcam set up on a little spot that I made really vibey for the cats. And they would come and hang out. And that was the cat cam. And it was really nice. And then I got my expensive thing and that had to end.
Maybe someday we'll figure something out, like put like a little GoPro somewhere, like in the house. But like for right now,
I was gonna put like a little GoPro on one of my cats on Wally and have him run around the house and call it Wally Vision.
Oh my
Wally
God.
View. It's Wally's POV and he's just I don't
how have
know.
we not done this yet?
Because he's probably just gonna go eat shit from the litter box.
That's fair.
Okay, so I think we have enough time for the fans this time to
Just a couple?
give a couple of questions.
Yeah, questions?
They
Raise
know
your hands.
everything.
Go.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Taki.
Hi.
T-A-K-I, not the other spelling. Anyway, is there, aside from your character in Genshin, do you have other characters that you would want to play? And
So many.
can you give an example of how you're gonna play them?
Oh my
A
gosh.
demonstration?
Windblade.
My birds!
Timmy? Yeah.
Right? Somebody got to play Timmy, and I don't know who it is, but I'm dying to know.
Whoever plays Timmy should get invited to cons, honestly.
Seriously, they should be going to cons. They should have merch. I would get them to sign a print so fast and hang that shit up. Poor Timmy.
Yeah, one of the very tricky social aspects of voice acting when you're friends with so many voice actors is inevitably there's going to be some jealousy, right? Because things, and that's okay. You can deal with those feelings in a healthy way. I don't, but you should.
But you should.
You should. It's advised. Like, for example, my friend Zach Aguilar. All right, don't cheer for him. He has enough. He's got enough adulation. Zach plays Tanjiro in Demon Slayer, and when I first found out, I was like, oh damn, dude, that's amazing. That's great. Congratulations. I'm really happy for you. That should be me. That should have been me. You've had enough leads. I want a Toonami lead.
You little gremlin.
I'll get my day. I'll get my time will come. I believe it should have been then, but it'll be
Oh
in the
my
future.
god.
But
You little toxic princess.
I'm very toxic. You shouldn't be. I can be, but you shouldn't be. No, Zach and I are friends, I think.
your friend.
We're friends. We're friends. But yeah, no. I should be telling true.
We were talking about
Waiting for
Genshin.
Honkai Star Rail though.
Oh,
Yeah. Give me a character in that, please. I don't know anything
Not
about the
that
game.
good.
I
Everybody
refuse
pray
to
for
play
us.
it until they put me in it.
Someday.
Anybody else have a question? Oh my goodness, that's a lot.
Better hurry.
They all got really curious.
Hi, my name is Phil.
Hi,
Phil.
Phil.
Hi, I would like to ask, because I'm a big fan of the before they changed Barbara's voice. So I would like to ask, if it's okay for you to answer as well, what was your first reaction? How did you feel when they asked for the change?
Confused. The change itself, it was very interesting because here's the deal. I recorded everything ahead of time. There was not actually a time where I had to go back in and re-record. I had it all. They had everything, every version that they needed. They just ended up switching some stuff out partway through. So you remember how, like I said, with Xinyan, they had 2 different versions they wanted to test? Similar scenario. I can't get into the thing, but similar scenario. They had everything that they wanted to use and needed to use. They just happened to make a new decision. And I had nothing to do with it. But I'm very sorry for everybody's confusion partway through. They're like, did you get fired? No, I didn't. I'm still here. It's still me.
And those things actually happen all the time in video games.
It does. It happens quite
Yeah,
often.
people, they'll realize, we mispronounced this word. Could you come back and re-record this and we'll just update the game? For example, Kaya pronounces Albedo's name Albedo.
Albedo.
I'm like, what? And I brought it to someone's attention during a session. Like, did you know Kaya says Albedo? And then Miho is like, wait, what? Oh, we gotta fix that. And then they did. I don't think they did. Did they do it? I don't know.
have in fact gone in for a few pickups here and there, and because names have changed from way back when, and they've gone through and they've
Or like they'll figure out a pronunciation way down the line.
way down the line,
Yeah.
and they'll switch stuff. So it happens quite often, not just in Genshin, but in lots of different shows and games and things. In fact, there's one time on a anime that I was working on. We'd completely recorded the whole thing. It was done. It was out. It was finished. And then when they did a direct-to-DVD release, it turns out that they reanimated some of the lip flaps. They did that specifically to match the Japanese a little bit closer, and so that meant that the lip sync that we had no longer worked. So we had to go back and redo a couple of lines here and there. So it just happens in production all the time.
All right.
This time we just happened to notice.
Ooh. So, anybody else? We have one more question for anyone out there.
Pick a good one. No pressure.
Hello, can you hear? Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Vana.
Hi, Vanna.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I got ticket ID 69, and I'm very happy about that.
Wow.
Thank you. Other than that, other than the food here in the Philippines, is there anything else you noticed or liked or disliked about it here? I'm just wondering.
The people are so kind. I know, I'm not trying to pander. I mean it. Every single one of you has been really sweet and genuine and enthusiastic.
Yeah.
We've gotten so many presents that I was not prepared for. And it's just, all of you are just so full of life, and I just can't help but be energized just by hanging out with all of you.
It is a very infectious energy.
Yeah, so
And-
thank you all so much for sharing with us. Sorry, I didn't mean to get cute. That was the first thing that popped in my mind. The food is fantastic, but the people are freaking amazing. For real though.
Yeah, no, we feel very, very well taken care of here.
Yeah.
And listen, we've had experiences like these before. We've signed things and met fans. This is one of those moments where we feel especially connected to the people that we get to meet. I
You've
think a
all been
lot
so
of you
magical.
are actually very familiar with the work that we do, and usually people just see a voice actor and a picture of a character and they go, oh, you voice so-and-so, guess I'll go get an autograph or something. Here, it feels a little more personal, a little more sincere, and it's very moving, and it's very sweet.
There's
and
a little bit of a difference between a fan, when I meet a fan who's a fan of the character that I play, which is fantastic as well, and I'm really excited and so enthusiastic and sweet. But then when I meet fans who are fans of, like,
just you.
me?
Yeah.
It's a whole nother thing. Like, what do you mean? And it's so sweet. And a lot of you have really just injected so much magic into our lives. I'm never gonna forget being here. Thank you.
So I think that's all that we're wrapping up for today, because that is gonna be the end of the panel, everyone. I'm so sorry. I know you guys want to ask more questions, but of course we're still gonna have them.
Can you guys give it up for our host, who's
Yeah.
really just been working so hard, by the way. He's doing this all day long, and he's asking such interesting and fun questions to answer, so thank you.
And you guys are great guests, like straight up. I feel carried right now, but still. Anyways, guys, like, you guys still have day 2, day 3 Conquest. Hell, the day is not even done. Can you tell us what you guys are gonna do for today, tomorrow, and the next day? That camera, that camera, that camera.
So immediately following this panel, you can come and find us at our booths. We're going straight over there. So come and find us. We're gonna be there.
Walk slow though.
We're gonna walk.
I want to take my time.
We're
Like
gonna-
3:30.
So take your time, but that's where we're going. So come and find us over there. If you had questions that you didn't get answered, we'll gladly answer them and sign stuff and take pictures and meet all of you. I want to see your pretty cosplays up close. And then tomorrow we each have workshops.
Tomorrow is our free roam.
Tomorrow's free roam.
So we're gonna be floating around the mall. I'm gonna be destroying every eatery like in the
But we will be back at
But
our
we'll be
booths
back.
tomorrow as well, and you'll
Like-
definitely be able to find us floating around.
I want to say like 11 noonish. We'll be in a vendor's hall around that time. Ballpark.
Around that time, and we'll be there for several hours. So come and find us then. And then Sunday. is
Sunday
when-
you have a girl power voice actor
Girl power!
panel. A girl boss voice actor panel at 12:30, I think.
Yeah, but also Adam, right?
And Adam, yeah, Adam is a girl boss.
Girl boss, and then Adam.
And Adam.
And that'll be at when?
Yeah.
11:30.
At 12:30, I think.
12:30.
And then I will have a voice actor panel with Sean, the actual voice of D-Luke.
Okay.
But all between those times, we're gonna try to spend as much time with all of you as possible. So come
You should
and find
introduce
us.
us both as the voices of D-Luke.
Yeah.
I'll do that now. Well, we're gonna keep that forever now.
Oh yeah.
But yes, thank you guys. Give them another round of applause. Khoi Dao and Laura Stahl!
Thank you, everybody.
And give it up for the con staff as well. Everybody's been working so hard and taking such good care of all of us. So thank you guys for helping us. And thank you, Tech. Really appreciate you.
Thank you, staff and tech. We're all so hot. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll see y'all later.